Hey, here we go. Louis Miller with the Farm Page of the Air, and Page 1 brought to you by Alltech, a U.S. global animal health and nutrition company. A special guest today, David Burton, who is the Civic Communications Specialist with the University of Missouri Extension. And he's been sending me some information, and I was a little hesitant because I wasn't for sure I was really smart enough, had all the dope to get into it. And I said, well, I know the man because he has been a really big instrument in formatting the program and the Historic Schools Summit. Along with that, a lot of work throughout the country, in southwest Missouri, I should say, thinking of country as rural areas, and making this possible. So, Dave, thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you've talked about, and let's take first the meeting that you have, a conference, I guess. It's going to be 2 days?
That's right. Friday and Saturday, September 16th and 17th.
And what's the topic? I mean, what would you say is the actual, line to say it's going to be?
Well, the focus is one-room schools, but
Okay.
There's a lot of different ways you can approach that subject, and we're going to try and hit it from all possible angles over the course of those 2 days.
I happen to be a proponent, I guess you'd call it, of one-room schools, because I think that was the first stab we ever had at, when you have a certain score, you can go to advanced classes now, they call it, that you're, above average or something, I don't know what you call it. And, in a one-room schoolhouse, if you were in the first grade, and I certainly remember those days, if you were in the first grade, and I was always listening to what was going on in the second and third, and I got to second, listening to fourth. See, I had that experience.
That's funny. That's something that people bring up all the time, about they got to listen to the older students preparing their lessons and how that helped them later on.
So tell me, if you can, after we talk about Alltech, kind of think about some of the items, or I guess you say talking points that you'll have on the program.
Sure.
But a talking point I want to make right now is Alltech. They make and sell animal feed, and they have a lot of animal feed additives, an emphasis on improving nutritional content naturally. Now, you can reduce the risk of groundwater contamination, and this is what they're part of, because here's the reason. The company teamed up with the California feed maker OK Cruz to develop and launch Green Feed. It's a feed for horses that uses locally available ingredients, has minimal grain content in order to use less of the global food supply. It contains the optimal amount of supplements to decrease the nutrient content wasted into the manure and reduce the risk of groundwater. That's what they're getting by and working on at Alltech. They're always a jump ahead. They also are starting the future farm. And on that, they're going to, I guess, try and put in action many of the things that they have researched and worked on for a number of years. We look forward to it, and I'd like to go down there, and we'll just take a whole busload. Now, back to the conference. Tell me a little bit about the program.
Well, we're going to be both entertained and educated.
Okay.
We're targeting people who have gone to one-room schools or actually own a building that they would like to restore, or if they are part of a group that's already restored a building. We're going to be talking about things on how to maintain a building as a community center, as a rural community center. Mm-hmm. It's a great way to keep those one-room schools going. Talking about how to get them on a new state multi-property historic register that's been developed. The lady who's worked on that for the state of Missouri will be there to talk about that and what grants that can actually lead to down the street. And then we're also going to be entertained. Dr. Billy Davis is going to be one of our speakers, and she was the subject of a film in 1953 called I Was a Hobo Kid, about how one-room school changed her life through education. And that'll be great to watch that movie and have a Q&A with her also. That's just on Friday.
Oh, that's just one day. Well, yeah. Okay. Something I always think about, I wish we would have had this program into being, because Sand Springs School is where my wife, she looks as young as my daughter, you see, it makes me feel good. But my wife attended Sand Springs School, 1st to 8th grade. But that was also the site of a fort during the Civil War. And it was Fort Sand Springs.
Is that in Illinois?
No, it's right here in Missouri, down in Webster County, just over by Tim Bridge. You probably don't even know about Tim Bridge, but the metropolitan area of Conklin, I'm sure you.
Oh, sure, yes.
We're going to continue on. We're not done. We're going to turn our page, though, to page 2 of the forum page of the air and just continue on our discussion. So you finished on Friday, and you're now headed towards Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday, part of what we're trying to do is establish a network in the state of Missouri for people that maintain one-room schools, so we can learn from each other's mistakes and we can share ideas for successes. So Saturday's really going to be focused on some groups that have one-room schools, that they're maintaining them. They're going to get to do a little show and tell about things they're doing to generate funds for their buildings, or things they're doing to generate and inspire volunteers that help them keep their buildings open. We have a lot of great examples of well-maintained one-room schools right here in the Ozarks.
Yes, we do have. And I'm sure anybody listening in, you would be glad to visit with them about being involved.
Absolutely. They could call our office. And in fact, we're already starting a list of speakers and topics for next year, because there's been such an interest in that. And we'd love for people to attend the conference. There's registration information as well as an agenda that's on our Greene County Extension website.
And you can also go by the office here in Springfield.
Yeah, or give us a call. We'll be happy to mail you a registration form and an agenda.
Now you've got me messed up because I can't remember the number. See, you had the same one for 40 years and you had to go change it.
I changed it. Yes, it's 881-8909.
You know, you sent me a book from the Extension Center, and it was inviting us to this conference. But then also, I noticed that you have a historic school quarterly gazette, you call it. Is something that comes out quarterly?
Yes, that's for people who are members of the Ozarks Country School Association.
And so you can get that by contacting you.
That's absolutely right.
And also, Reaching Out report is now available online.
That's correct. That gives you a little summary of the sort of extension programs we're doing in Greene County each month and where our specialists are targeting. You may look at that and say, hey, we'd like that program in our community, in our area also.
David Burton, Civic Communications Specialist, University of Missouri Extension Service, our special guest today. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to turn the page now.